My best friend died a stranger to me. So I set off on a year-long quest in search of meaningful connection. In a world of electronic relationships, how willing will someone be to sit down with a complete stranger and answer 10 insightful questions? This project started as a blog, became a book, and now you're watching 52 people. Hi, I'm Jayson Krause and welcome to 52 People. Today is the first part of a three-part series where we have a special guest. Some of you will know him as Stranger Number 2 from the book. In this first episode, I sit down with Chris and we're going to talk about what's transpired from the first moment we bumped into each other until now, as well as he'll talk about the first 4 questions. After this break, we'll find out what Chris had to say. Chris, thank you for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, I want to get into the 10 questions that we talked about before, but the first place I want to start with is asking you, from our interaction and the questions, the conversation that we had, what were you thinking when you left?
After you interviewed me?
Yeah.
I thought it was a neat concept. And actually since then, it's become kind of a popular thing to do. There's people doing 365 photos, a photo a day and, a photo a month or whatever. And it was a really neat concept. And actually, after you told me the full story about why you had decided to take on this project, I thought it would be something that more people should do. Maybe not necessarily as a project, but just approach people random. I think everybody is so caught up in what they're doing in their everyday life that they ignore the people around them, whether they're taking the C train to work or sitting in a park eating their lunch during the lunch hour or walking through the airport, which was your case.
Mm-hmm. Right, we met at the airport and it was almost, well, it was January of 2009 when we bumped into one another, and now here we are 3 years, is my math correct, 3 years later?
Yeah, I forget that it's 2011, no longer. It's 2012.
Yeah, 2012. Here we are 3 years later, and part of the experiment is to not just ask people these questions once, to truly eliminate the strangers in your lives, is to continue to ask people these questions because experiences change people change, and what I'm curious about is asking you the 10 questions now, going deeper into what your answers would be today.
I'm glad that I can re-answer them. I don't know what I would have answered back then. Yeah. Probably just all lies.
Great. We'll ask you the 10 questions, and when you're done answering, then we'll talk about the answers together.
Okay.
Question number 1, absolutely no limitations. What's your dream job?
I know that one hasn't changed. My dream job would be to get paid to travel. I guess I see myself as having a very unique situation, missing both arms and both legs, and just the reaction that I get from people when I'm doing something like that. I just got back from, it was about 2.5 months over in Europe, and this time around I decided to do it a little bit differently. Normally I wear prosthetics, and I chose to leave my legs at home. Not everybody can say that. Leave my legs at home and get around on my longboard, or just hop around on my leg like I normally would if I wasn't on the longboard. And it's amazing how many people take notice, and even more so how many people want to help you out. I'm a firm believer that the human being, people are generally kind. 99.999% of people you come across are either good to great. There's the odd exception, which unfortunately we hear about too much, but everybody really wants to help. Everybody's very encouraging, and I love that kind of thing. Meeting new people, experiencing what different countries, different cultures, their reactions to me, and just traveling. I mean, there's so much out there. I think too many people get caught up in their own small world and forget that there's a whole other world out there. And exploring it on the internet doesn't count. You got to go see it for yourself. So yeah, getting paid to travel, that would just be the ultimate job, career.
Yeah. And you say that hasn't changed from when we first interviewed you?
No,
Because that was your
not
answer
one
last
bit,
time,
not
yeah.
one bit.
And so question 2, when you're full of life, when you are in your perfect moments, what is it that fulfills you?
New experiences. I'm going to quote a movie because I don't know what book they brought the quote from, but Into the Wild, the core of man's spirit comes from new experiences. New experiences, and I love making people laugh. I very, very, very rarely do I like to have too serious of an outlook on life. If you can't laugh at life, what can you laugh at? So I love making people laugh. I love entertaining people. I love meeting new people, hearing their story, sharing my story, and basically what this poster right here, what you were doing.
Yeah, great. What's your greatest fear?
My greatest fear, and I'm pretty sure I remember the answer when you first asked this question.
What's your greatest fear?
My greatest fear, and I'm pretty sure I remember the answer when you first asked this question, is regret. I've always said that when I'm living my very last day on this earth, I want to be able to look back at everything I did and not have any regrets. I don't regret anything that I've ever done, and I also don't want to look back and say, well, I wish I would have tried this, I wish I would have tried that. This trip through Europe, doing it the way I did it, it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and I've always found an excuse not to, whether it be work, money, being a grown-up. I thought, you know what, screw it. If I don't do it now, who knows if I'll get a chance to do it down the road. So I asked my job if I could leave for a while, and got rid of my apartment and worked my butt off for a while and took off and left. And I don't want to look back on life and regret not doing things.
Question 4 now. When you talk about these great things that you're experiencing, what do you want more of in life now?
Just more of the same thing, more new experiences. I love meeting people and making people laugh, like I said earlier, and just continuing on that. When you're traveling around, I mean, I did get to see a good chunk of Europe over the 2.5 months I was there. Unfortunately, I did have to come home early because of a bogus year, but when you travel around and you see things, you really start to realize how large this world is and how little of it you just saw. So yeah, just when I'm traveling, I'm constantly thinking, okay, well, now I want to go see this. You're not feeding your appetite for travel, you're just continuously adding to that appetite for travel. And so probably traveling is not a very healthy thing if you got other things in life you have to do, because you bite off this small chunk and then you just add a huge chunk more that you want to experience.
That's the conclusion of part 1. Join us next time where Chris answers questions 5 to 7. Let's see what else he has to say. I'm Jayson Krause. Thanks for watching 52 People.